Greetings, Indie Warriors! Welcome to yet another edition of The Dream Drop, your rundown on all of the exciting indie, AA, and niche titles for the week of October 20th through the 26th of 2025. My name's OldGamer Joe, and this week's full of plenty of spooky indie releases as we approach Halloween, so get ready to have your pants scared off of you and add some awesome-looking titles to your collection. Do note that this list does not include early access titles. Real quick though, if you love what we do and you want to support indie visibility, well then consider heading over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames. You'll gain Discord access to the greatest indie gaming community, enjoy early ad-free shows, a shout-out at the end of every single video we produce, our podcast 3 days early, and so much more. But best of all, you're supporting indie visibility. Your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. First in the drop this week is Lessaria Fantasy Kingdom Sim, a self-proclaimed spiritual successor to Majesty that aims to combine city building and RTS genres with only indirect control of your heroes. This release will come with a campaign to play through and a sandbox mode if you'd rather have a chill, open-ended experience building out your magical kingdom. Lessaria Fantasy Kingdom Sim releases on the 20th. Surely you've played a top-down action-adventure game before, but have you ever played one starring a drunken alpaca? Well, that's exactly what you'll get with DREAMOUT, a cartoony adventure that looks colorful, charming, and certainly more than a bit weird. But hey, we love weird around here. Bring on the weird, I say. Go on quests, fight enemies, solve puzzles, and collect some funny hats along the way. Who knows where your booze-tinted adventures will take you? Hopefully rehab, but hey, we're not here to judge. Next up is the cozy, charming platformer Ela, a Frosty Glide. Ela, an up-and-coming young witch, needs to use her skate broom to search for her lost cat. On her way, she'll find colorful environments to explore, upgrades for her flying abilities, and plenty of chill, charming vibes. Anybody looking to explore this cozy world can look forward to doing so when it releases on Steam and all major consoles early this week. Next on the list, Lone Soul is an isometric hack-and-slash roguelite that aims to combine fast-paced combat, unique builds, and customization to create the ultimate action roguelite experience. Play as the warrior Reus, who's on a mission to rescue Revelia, a conqueror who has been held captive deep inside a mythical tower. Are you up for the challenge? Find out when Lone Soul drops this week. Moving right along, we have Fantasy Maiden Wars, Dream of the Stray Dreamer, launching on the 20th. Coming to us from Phoenix Inc., this tactical RPG is set within the Toho universe. Take charge of over 70 different characters in delightful grid-based turn-based battles. The game will feature tons of distinct animations, attacks, and spells to cast on your foes. They'll never know what hit them. Toss in an epic story and an insane amount of musical compositions, and Tactics fans won't want to miss out on this release. The art's not too shabby looking either. We know this next title isn't quite the little indie release you may expect on this list, and probably falls somewhere between the AA and AAA realm, but given the original's status as a cult classic and indie developer The Chinese Room at the helm, it'd be hard to let this week go by without mentioning Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, a sequel with a turbulent development history, to put it mildly. But yes, you'll finally be able to get your hands on this long-awaited title this week, and let's hope the wait was worth it. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will have you playing as the Nomad, an ancient vampire who awakens from a long slumber into modern times. Make your way through the streets of Seattle as you uncover a case that threatens vampires and human societies alike. Keeping with the theme of more AA-ish titles for the moment, Painkiller is finally back with a modern entry that will have you shooting your way through purgatory either alone or in cooperative mode with up to 3 players. Play as 4 different distinct characters in either the full story campaign or in the Rogue Angel mode that spices up your demon shooting with a roguelike twist. Hopefully there's gonna be lots to love here when the new Painkiller releases on the 21st. Next up, Drakeneck and Friends, devious masterminds of games like A Monster's Expedition, Cosmic Express, and Bonfire Peaks are back with a new title in the form of Spooky Express, perfect for the indie gamer looking to chill out with Halloween vibes but not Halloween scares. Take control of the Spooky Express and plan out a rail network to transport undead passengers across 200 distinct levels. With tons of thoughtfully designed content, interesting monsters, and lots of cool environments, puzzle fans should have plenty of spooky conundrums to take on when Spooky Express lands on Steam. Even as someone who hates spiders, there was something undeniably cute about Webbed, the tiny pixel art Metroidvania game that had oodles of charm and interesting web-building mechanics. Well, its developers are back with Isopod, a webbed spin-off. This is a 3D platforming collectathon where you play as a little pill bug that has to roll their way through the Australian bush to fight back against the fire ant conglomerate. Let's hope this transition to a 3D world keeps the charm and fun mechanics that made Webbed so lovable when Isopod, a Webbed spin-off, gets its Steam release on the 21st. If it's any mystery what kind of vibe a game called Darkenstein 3D is going for, let's shatter that mystery now. Darkenstein 3D is a Wolfenstein and Doom-inspired retro shooter that aims to bring back the joys of a past generation with a few modern twists. You'll play as the Hobo Guy, a drifter armed with a shotgun and a thirst for vengeance. For retro shooter fans, Darkenstein 3D promises to be tough, bloody, and exactly the sort of violent good time they might very well be hungry for. Fans of TV shows like The Boys may enjoy the upcoming superhero game called Dispatch, that has you managing a dysfunctional team of superheroes and making choices that will change the way the story plays out. On top of the dialogue choices you have to make, you'll also need to make the right decisions when sending heroes out, as every decision has consequences. From the writers and directors of the hit Choices Matter games Tales of the Borderlands and The Wolf Among Us, we're certainly in for a good time. Plus, with its quirky characters, colorful art style, and very talented voice cast, there's a lot to look forward to when Dispatch launches on the 22nd. From sci-fi to prehistoric now, we follow a lone Neanderthal woman who's trying to survive this prehistoric world and make her way back to her tribe. This is I, Mother. There are no words within the game. Instead, any information is conveyed in actual prehistoric symbols found in archaeological digs dating back to 35,000 BCE. So you'll need to discern the meaning of the symbols and use your instinct to get home. The game explores the history of humankind and why only a tiny amount of our DNA is shared with the Neanderthal population. Explore the unique world of I, Mother and relive the good old days, really old days, on the 22nd. Now, normally people ask us to keep politics out of gaming, so someone decided to put all the politics into one game to solve the problem. A game cleverly titled Politics the Game in this comedy RPG where you'll become a parliamentarian, create your own dream political party, if that's something you have, and make a run for political victory. With gameplay inspired by current events, you're on a mission to become the most powerful person in Poland by calling in favors from allies, completing minigames, and fighting against the opposition. Politics the Game gives you the chance to finally make a political party that represents you when it begins its term on the 22nd. If politics isn't scary enough, let me introduce you to point-and-click haunted house adventure Riddlewood Manor. The dark but funny narrative has an evil little doll called Susie pulling the strings, deciding what game it is you'll have to play to escape the resort, which I personally would be giving a pretty bad review on Airbnb if it were me. You'll have to solve logic puzzles in a rabbit warren of a mansion that will try and kill you at every turn. With hidden pathways, mysterious secrets, and ooky spooky monsters, it should hopefully get you in the Halloween spirit on the 22nd. If you want to keep your blood pressure up, then why not sit down to a game of Russian roulette with bombs in Cut That Wire? The 4-player first-person gameplay has you trying to avoid cutting the wrong wire, outliving the other hostages, and trying to find the imposter. In between the dreaded wire cutting, you'll complete minigames together, trying to find which of you is lying and which of you can help save their friends. It's high pressure, high stakes, and highly likely you'll get annoyed at your pals, but there's a lot of fun to be had in Cut That Wire, which explodes onto the scene this week. Tower Defense meets epic adventure in the adorable pixel world of Relic Guardian, Tower Defense. As Fran, you're in charge of building your battlefield, moving heroes to other spots, building differently powerful spirit towers, and ultimately embarking on an epic quest of guardianship. You won't be alone on this journey either, as your pal Panny is capable of transforming into 9 different forms capable of unleashing powerful attacks and swaying the battle in your favor. With adorable, colorful graphics, plenty of tactics to try, and tons of levels to play through, you could wait till the game launches on the 22nd, or try the demo that's available now. Next up, something truly scary, speaking to beautiful women. Refate Echoes of Desire is an upcoming FMV dating sim in which you find yourself lost in Tokyo, suffering with amnesia and thrust into dealing with the Yakuza. But outside of the mob storyline and the seemingly constant threat on your life from both the Yakuza and Tokyo police, you'll still have to find time to romance one of 8 vastly different women, all with their own wants and desires, but mainly they seem to desire you, so that's lucky. You'll have to fight your way through the mob, discover your true identity, and maybe, just maybe, find true love when Refate Echoes of Desire launches on the 22nd. Next up, we're gonna be thinking real hard as we take a look at the new 4X strategy game Stellar Reach. You're in charge of an empire that is on a mission to be the dominant force in the galaxy through conquest, prosperity, technology, or just pure power. Your chosen faction has a unique set of skills and needs, and it's up to you to keep them prosperous without misusing your power and upsetting your citizens, which is easier said than done. Fans of huge tech and skill trees are in for a treat, because this one is massive, with the ability to put points into so many different skills you'll never play the same game twice. Get ready to take over the galaxy when Stellar Reach launches this week. A different kind of skill tree now, one potentially more manageable for the general populace, and a bit more fantastical in the upcoming old-school RPG, Pale Coins. This lovingly handcrafted world has you battling your way through forests, mountains, dungeons, and more as you search for an item called the Champion's Coin. You'll battle a wide variety of monsters, including some pretty beastly boss fights using your fighter's powerful skills and unique abilities, both of which can be granted by rare pieces of equipment you loot on your adventures. With tons of wonderful pixel art characters, lots and lots of loot to find, and a lovely taste of old-school RPG to get nostalgic about, why not give this one a swing this week? Next up is the sequel to a game that was a surprise hit despite its on-paper monotony. PowerWash Simulator 2 is launching on the 23rd. The game asks one thing of you: use your power washer to clean some absolute filth off of various items, vehicles, and buildings in the truly disgusting town of Muckingham. With a fresh new campaign, new jobs, tools, and even the introduction of an abseil rig to make cleaning even easier, cleaning is going to be more satisfying than ever, especially when you compare it to its predecessor. If you can't wait, you can try the demo right now. If you instead want something that will get your heart racing instead of chilling and cleaning, then why not have a look at the 1 to 5 player co-op survival game Misery. Set in a nuclear disaster zone, you and your friends, or just you if you don't fancy bringing your pals into it, will have to search through the radioactive town, finding resources, crafting weapons, and exploring procedurally generated worlds that are chock full of spooky monsters, along with armed bandits. There's enough ghoulies here as well to put the willies in you. You'll need to boost up your bunker in order to survive all the misery when the game launches this week. Next, haven't these poor souls been tormented enough? Well, apparently not, because fans of survival horror have Tormented Souls 2 to look forward to on the 23rd. The original release from 2021 became something of a cult classic, and the sequel once again puts you in the shoes of Caroline Walker as she explores the decrepit remains of the town of Villa Hesse, located in the secluded mountains of Chile. Explore interesting locations, solve tricky puzzles, and uncover the mysteries behind this strange and disturbing place when Tormented Souls 2 finally comes to Steam and all major consoles. An adorable pixelated adventure awaits gamers next with the release of Fading Serenades, a game where you shall hike and climb across various terrain on an island, helping villagers with different tasks. Carefully manage your backpack as you search for lost traditions, missing townsfolk, and even try to get used to a bit of time management, not my strong suit. The retro visuals will further bring this adventure to life, so become one with nature later this week. Cozy fans won't want to miss adding another indie game to their ever-growing backlogs. Next up is a game that's already technically released, but is thankfully making its way to Switch and Xbox now. Reus 2 has you taking control of massive titans to build ecosystems and help humans thrive on your land. There are 6 different giants for you to take control of, and the game's overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam bodes well for anybody looking to dip their toes into this unique colony sim for the first time. Reus 2 releases for Switch and Xbox on the 23rd. A 3D fighting game, what madness is this? And it looks like a classic Virtua Fighter title? Sign me up! Exploding Judo Federation is coming to us from the same folks that brought us Schwarzblitz and Motion Sickness, and offers 1v1 fighting action with no shortage of grabs, rolls, and combos. Punch, kick, and dash your way to victory using 11 different characters and 3 bosses that are also unlockable, and prepare for arcade and survival modes, along with a time attack mode. When you're done with that, be sure to take part in some local versus battles. Fight on this week. Seeking some thrilling 3D action? Look no further than Bounty Star, coming to us from Dino God and Annapurna Interactive. Mech fans will enjoy this mix of customizable options, but might be surprised to learn that the game has a bit of farming and base building, too. Take control of the soldier Clem in this post-apocalyptic journey that features no shortage of weapons and defense systems. I'm curious how all of these different gameplay genres will come together. Shall it be a cohesive experience? We will find out. Do you crave some roguelike multiplayer mayhem? The gorgeous-looking Godbreakers offers just that. Team up with 3 other friends to take down epic biomes that are full of enemies and boss encounters. Gain new abilities by absorbing them from your foes. That's right, in this game you can enter your enemies when they're close to death and steal their powers directly away. Add in tons of equipment and unlockables, and this could be one roguelike worth checking out if you're a fan of the genre. Hey RPG fans, prepare for an open world adventure with Crown and Adventure. Oh yeah, adventure's right in the title. Should have known that. Grow your epic dynasty in this ambitious release coming to us from C3D Games and Lucky Calf. Enjoy a classic top-down view as you watch thousands of soldiers do battle in real time. There's squad attacks, skills to master, and more in yet another tactical release. Shall you rule this world and take over all of the lands? The Double Dragon franchise returns once more in Double Dragon Revive. Featuring a new 3D visual overhaul, expect arcade action as you scroll through screens bashing down enemies. It's easy to pick up and play according to the devs and has been balanced for modern-day audiences. Learn various enemy patterns, time your attacks, and grab an assortment of weapons to bring justice to the streets once again. Bimmy and Jimmy need you now more than ever. VR lovers, you aren't left out this week either. This is Wanderer: The Fragments of Fate. This is a remake of Wanderer that looks to improve on the original in every possible way. Travel through time and solve a variety of deep puzzles as you unravel a fascinating story that highlights big moments throughout history. You'll bounce through time at breakneck speeds, so hold on to your stomachs, especially if you're prone to VR sickness. With new visuals and physics, this should be the best way to play the game yet. A series that I buy annually returns now. The Jackbox Party Pack 11 is hitting the scene with a slew of new games, so get ready to draw those dicks and boobs once more. This pack includes 5 games total: Dominate, where you ruin jokes; Hearsay, where you record lines; Cookie House, Suspectives, and Legends of Trivia. You can probably figure out what that last one's about. While I do think more recent packs haven't been as good as previous iterations, I still look forward to each new year and hope that these games offer up some of the best party experiences yet. I'll be there day one. Next up, Full Metal Schoolgirl. Taking place in the year 2089, a cyborg breaks into a massive corporation and all hell breaks loose from there. Fight the working dead in close quarters combat as you try to reach the top floor. Gain rewards as you progress to customize and grow stronger. There's no shortage of mods that should keep the gameplay feeling fresh, so if it looks interesting to you, grab it on the 23rd. Off to Ashwood Creek next. It's 1985 and there's a creepy town to explore. Take control of Ethan, a police officer who's on a missing persons case that ends up leading players even further down a bizarre rabbit hole. Follow strange radio signals in this haunting indie that will have you exploring spooky settings and leave you on the edge of your seat. Radiolight should be the perfect game for Halloween time, hitting on those retro vibes. Another action RPG next. The Lonesome Guild is dropping on PC and most consoles on the 23rd, everyone but Switch, I think. Take control of the spirit known as Ghost and meet 6 unique party members that will accompany you across your journey. There's plenty of emotional storytelling here with a nice mix of combat and even a few puzzles to solve along the way. Take on side quests, gain new powers, and challenge 3 different difficulties in this cute-looking adventure that has plenty of heart on the surface. We had to have a survival horror game this close to Halloween, right? Yep, this is Suffocate, a game that explores relationships, weird cults, and ramps up the violence, so don't expect this Taiwanese horror to be for the faint of heart. Explore an atmospheric world, solving puzzles and surviving a creepy mansion. Expect chase sequences too, with the game also featuring full voice performances through its 5-hour runtime. The developer got the timing right this close to Halloween, but it remains to be seen how fun the game will be to play. I remain optimistic, though. I'm ever the optimist. The Angry Nerd is back in another NES-inspired adventure, Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit. And even better news, we have a full review of the game live on the channel. It's from yours truly. Take on 6 bosses inspired by the Angry Nerd series in what plays like a classic Mega Man game. Each level hosts tricky platforming, enemy patterns, and bosses just as you would expect. Well, I can tell you for sure that it's not total ass, but do check out the full review for all the details in the latest release from Retroware. You wouldn't know it's Halloween season with all the RPGs dropping, but I'm not complaining. Dreamed Away is an action RPG, though it does have a dark story despite the adorable Earthbound-style visuals. This game doesn't have turn-based combat, however, as it is quick-moving, broken up into various minigames. Learn the various minigames if you hope to survive as you seek out your missing parents and sister and try to understand why the world's now inhabited by ghosts. Okay, I guess it does fit the Halloween vibe after all. More dungeon exploring mayhem now in this pixel art crawler, The Crazy Hyper Dungeon Chronicles. Now that's a title I can get behind. The game features turn-based combat, choices that matter, tons of weapons, puzzles, and dangers just as you would expect. And even better, no 2 runs will ever be the same. Just be careful of those traps now. With 50 level types and different biomes, things should stay fresh in these wretched dungeons. It's available on the 23rd. Good luck surviving, it won't be easy, that's for sure. Just in time for Halloween, Death Frame is a horror adventure game game arriving for PC on October 24th. As the child of a serial killer, you're sure to relive some trauma as you return to the mansion that will help you restore memories of your estranged parent. There seems to be a heavy emphasis on exploration in this title, with a touch of puzzle solving and reflex-based gameplay for some variety. The whole tone of this one is pretty eerie, which is perfect for spooky season. Just when I think I've seen everything, a chicken run themed game is releasing for PC in the year of our Lord 2025. What even is modern gaming? I'm not mad at it though. I'm a lover of stop-motion animation, and Chicken Run was no exception. Chicken Run Eggstraction is a stealth-based adventure game that might be lighthearted, but don't underestimate the challenge of having to avoid bumbling security guards and cameras. All of the classic characters from the movies are back when Chicken Run Eggstraction hatches on the 24th. Strategy fans, take note now. Dolven is releasing on the 24th of this month and is here for your narrative-heavy tactical RPG needs. This one has a bit of a card-based twist as you face off against the Dungeon Master in grid-based combat. The buffs for your weapons and abilities come in the form of cards, so you'll be able to customize your gameplay to your own preferred strategy. This title isn't all brain-straining strategy though. It also has a meaningful story with 6 different endings to achieve, so plenty of replayability there. If you're up for the challenge, check it out on PC this week. Never in my life did I imagine talking to the internet about a Dora the Explorer game, but here we are. Dora Rainforest Rescue is a family-friendly adventure perfect for the budding platformer in your life. I hope you've braced yourself for nostalgia overload, at least if you're from the Nick Jr. generation, because in this title you play as, you guessed it, Dora herself. Swiper is at it again, and this time he's causing trouble in the rainforest. You'll have to platform and collect as you try to save the day when Dora Rainforest Rescue drops this week. Are you feeling a need for speed this autumn? Well, Fast and Furious Arcade Edition might be just what the doctor ordered. Releasing on October 24th, this arcade racer will have you revving your engines through epic tracks with all sorts of wild supercars. You can take on races solo or play split screen with a local opponent if you want to test the boundaries of your friendship. I, for one, am not a big car guy, but I do love an arcade racer, and this is the kind of wheel I can get behind. And if that wasn't enough arcade racing action for you, Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed is also crossing the finish line on the 24th. If Fast and Furious won't provide you with enough zany, colorful cars and tracks, then Hot Wheels certainly will. I won't lie to you, I've been a big fan of the previous Hot Wheels arcade racers that have come over the last few years, and I have a feeling this one will be no exception. The game is inspired by the Netflix series of the same name, and definitely has a distinctive art style that sets it apart from your standard racing game. Not to mention the fact that you'll have boss battles to contend with and 5 different gameplay modes. What a wild ride! And closing out our list, don't worry, it's not another racing game. We're gonna go with co-op survival horror title Dreadway, which is all about surviving the apocalypse. It's releasing on the 26th and will have you crafting and scavenging your way through a landscape decimated by a nuclear apocalypse. Nice and lighthearted, I know. Don't worry, you won't have to face this hellscape alone, as you can take on run after run online with friends, securing loot and encountering otherworldly creatures. The end of the world sucks a little less with a friend, am I right? But that's gonna do it for this week, folks. Thank you for all that you do for independent developers, publishers, and for I Dream of Indie Games. Voice to the voiceless, Patreon, do all those good things, and make sure that we can continue to support indie visibility. See you next time, everybody.